Good morning. Welcome to Floreana Island. We have arrived right now to Post Office Bay, and this is perhaps one of the most historical places in the whole archipelago. This area has a long history, and as you know, Galapagos for many years was used by pirates, by whalers, mainly as a sort of a camping site. These people had a chance to find here food, provisions. Well, in the way of tortoises. We know that a long time ago the giant tortoises were the main source of food for pirates and whalers, These people knew that the tortoises can stay for as much as 1 year without water or food. So, this was before canned food. We can say they decided to kind of use this place as a sort of a grocery store. They came over here, they landed, they were going to the highlands, they were taking tortoises, and then they were carrying these tortoises all the way down up to here. And they were going to have fresh meat all year round, because by keeping a tortoise on board, they were going to have it alive, keep it alive, and they were going to have fresh meat all year round. Galapagos for many years also has been visited by really, really famous people. You probably have heard that Herman Melville came here. He even wrote a poem about a rock called Round Rock. He was here, he was in a whaling boat. We had a guy called David Porter. Captain Porter was in the Navy. He came to the early of the 1800s when Britain was at war with the US. He came with a mission to destroy every single English boat sailing through these waters. And he actually got a really interesting idea. He decided to land right over here. He decided to come to the post office, open up this barrel, start reading postcards and letters, and he discovered that some of these postcards and letters were actually written by whalers, English whalers. So just by reading the postcards and the letters, he knew exactly where these people was going to be next, in the Galapagos. And that's the tactic he used to capture all of the Englishmen and therefore the English boats. So he was going, he became really successful. Back in that time, it was really important for a captain to put a crew member, probably a really good crew member, on board of the boat that you were capturing as the captain. But he became so successful that he ran out of crew members. And the story says that apparently he was sailing with his adopted son, David Farragut, and this was just a 12-year-old child, So he needed to put him as a captain of a boat. So Mr. Farragut started his career in the Galapagos Islands at the age of 12 years. Later he becomes an admiral in the United States. And I've heard that in Washington you have a square called Farragut Square. So he became pretty famous here. Yeah? He started at the age of 12 years over here. So we don't know exactly when this was put here, but we think probably was in the 1793. A whaler, probably James Cornett, landed over here. He came with a wine barrel, and he decided to put it, on top of a post. And since then, this is being used as a sort of mailing system. Perhaps back in that time, this was the only mailing system that we know in the South Pacific. The idea back in that time was to always, pass close to Floreana, send a crew member over here, pick up all the letters and postcards, and these boats were going to leave them in the probably nearest office, or if they were traveling back to England, they were going to bring them back to the loved ones of the whalers that were here. They were going to probably hand deliver these postcards and letters to their families. So that was the idea. So every time we had a boat coming ashore, picking up the letters and postcards and going back to England, going back to other countries, and delivering this mail. So we want to continue with this tradition, and this is what we're going to do. If you dare to take one of the postcards or letters from this barrel, means that you have to hand deliver personally this. All right? Make sure you go probably at dinner time. You bring a bottle of wine, probably. You probably will meet a lot of friends, and you go knock on the door of these people and hand deliver them. Please do not go to Miami airport and put a stamp over there. That doesn't work. The idea is to hand deliver the postcards. So right now, I brought with me the keys, and officially I'm going to open the post office. Let me see where I left the key last time. now I'd like to ask for some help. I'd like to know if we have 5 volunteers or 6 volunteers. It's preferably if they can read the acronyms. If you can read all of that, please come in the front. 5 of you, adults, that can help me.